Koinant, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And just another demonstration of how clueless this ANC government are. Every other first world country in the world that has gone onto lockdown, their curve has gone like that. So it's flattened out. Guess what's happening to the one in South Africa? This is after several weeks of lockdown. It's going like this. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand why that's happening. I put some videos up just a couple of days ago which showed how the black Africans were milling around as if it was just another ordinary day. No lockdown. No police to be seen. The police were deployed to the white suburbs and were arresting anyone who they found on foot or someone that they could even faintly arrest for some devious little criminal charge. Now, this is just complete and utter victimization by the ANC government under this lockdown. Okay, let's get back to what's happening in South Africa with the infection rate, and you'll see how incompetent this ANC government is. South Africa now has more than 8,800 confirmed cases of the COVID-19 coronavirus and 17 more deaths, Health Minister Zweli Mkhize announced on Friday night. Mkhize said there were 663 new infections. 663 new infections. Remember what I said about the petri dish with the taxis and with the townships? This is just the start, guys. You're going to see figures into the thousands of new infections every day very soon. The problem is they don't have enough testing kits. This is why the figures are so low. I would suggest they're probably closer to 500,000 people in South Africa now infected with the coronavirus. A lot of them will be asymptomatic. They won't realize they've got it. This is what it does. The only people who are going to have a test are those who are showing the symptoms. And only a few of those are actually getting tested. It is absolute disgrace. But this is clueless South African ANC government in action once again. Let's continue. The health minister said there were 17 new deaths, which came from 9 in the Western Cape, 3 in the Eastern Cape, 3 in Gauteng, and 2 in KwaZulu-Natal. The country is currently in day 43 of its national lockdown, which was instituted to curb the spread of the virus. That's an oxymoron. That's an oxymoron. How can you curb the spread of the virus when there's no social distancing and you can't achieve that result? You know, all this is doing is destroying South Africa's economy. What the ANC government, corrupt government, have left of it. That's the only thing that this is achieving. Last Friday, South Africa eased into level 4 of the national lockdown and allowed just over 1 million workers to return to work after instituting the strict level 5 lockdown for 35 days. Well, the infection rate is going through the roof, and yet they're easing off the lockdown. Doesn't it kind of tell you something? You know, but they are so... The problem is the L factor, completely missing in action. That's a problem. In easing into level 4 of the lockdown, the wearing a cloth mask became compulsory for all who were in public. Shops are refusing to serve those who do not cover their faces. On the last week of the level 5 lockdown, South Africa saw 1,694 new infections between April the 24th and April the 30th. And now they've seen over 650 in one day. And as the country entered into the level 4 lockdown, the cases have not slowed, with 3,248 cases and 75 deaths recorded in just 8 days between the 1st of May and the 8th of May. Mkhize said over 307,000 people have been tested for the virus, with the last 15,000 tests conducted over the last 24 hours. Now, let me tell you something. Those 307,000 people are less than 1% of the population of South Africa. They're a fraction of the population of South Africa. This is how derelict in their duty the ANC have been when it comes to actually handling this lockdown. On Thursday, Mkhize announced that he would be accompanying President Cyril Ramaphosa for a visit to the Western Cape. On Friday, he said this visit would now also extend to the Eastern Cape. He said, the provinces have recorded the two highest new cases in the past 24 hours, with the Western Cape accounting for 76% of new cases and the Eastern Cape accounting for 9% of new cases. And you know where those new cases are? In the townships, where there's no social distancing, which is why this whole lockdown is completely and utterly flawed. Anyway, he went on to say, in addition, the Western Cape has just over 50% of the COVID-19 burden in South Africa, recording the highest deaths as well. He said, with interprovincial movement between these provinces being an issue, it will be crucial for us to understand the dynamics driving the epidemic in this region and assist where necessary. We know what a lot of good work has been done by the leadership of these provinces. Now, this guy is a complete arsehole. I'm sorry, guys, but I'd just like to speak the truth. He says, it'll be crucial to understand the dynamics driving the epidemic in this region. Well, go into Khayelitsha and see how people are living. They're cheek and jowl. There's no social distancing. Bingo! I've just saved the country 10 million rand that they're probably going to put out and do this fancy little report that'll cover up the truth. Look, it ain't friggin' rocket science. Anyway, this health minister went on to say, we also acknowledge the commitment and hard work of our professionals and frontline health workers, both in public and private sectors. Meanwhile, Ramaphosa announced earlier on Friday that as much as 19,000 prisoners who had committed petty crimes could potentially be released. Oh, wonderful. You got unemployed, starving people who've just been released from prison, who are criminals. Guess what they're gonna do? Yeah, another wave of looting. That's what you can expect in South Africa. This guy is an absolute friggin' genius. But as long as it's not affecting his back pocket, he doesn't give a stuff. Correctional Services Minister Ronald Lamola said the prisoners would not be released immediately, and it explained that they would still have to go through the normal processes with the parole board before their potential release. Now, let's remember the prison system was not an African invention. It was a colonial invention. And just like everything else, it's been completely mishandled by this government, who are totally out of their depth. He said those who had been convicted for violent crimes, including murder and rape, would not be considered for release under the special parole dispensation. He said the process to decongest prisons in the battle against the virus would take up to 10 weeks. Now, I've seen in a different report that one of the people who will not be released under this new provision is Oscar Pistorius. And I have no argument with that. I think what happened that night is very disturbing, to say the least. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, please stay safe. Bye for now.